What's up, guys? It's me, Grey Wolf, back to do another video for you. This is episode number 19 of Boxy Brown. Take it away, Boxy.
I ain't hearing that, see. You asking and you telling. Cause nobody tells Boxy Brown.
Alright, we're going to get right into this one because I've got all kinds of goodies to unpack / unbox, and I don't want to make this into an epic video. So we're just going to get right to it. I got a whole bunch of stuff over here, from decent sized boxes all the way down to little tiny packets, so let's see what this one is. This one this one is a blue motor protector for the Traxxas Bandit / E-Rustler / E-Stampede / two-wheel drive, etc, etc, etc. But the freaking package looks like it's been melted. Look at that. I don't know what they did to that thing, but the item itself doesn't look damaged, so that's good, but the screws don't look like they've seen better days. But weird thing is, I ordered two different things from the same guy, and there's only one thing in here. So don't know. I'm a little concerned about that. I'll have to follow up with that guy. I also bought another RPM item off of the same guy, and this looks like a digital voltmeter. This is for my secret project that I'm working on. I've already unboxed quite a few little items for my secret project. I'll do a video and probably a build thread on my Facebook about it too. So that's that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the voltmeter. I actually ordered an amp meter also, and it looks very much like that, but I think there's an extra set of wires coming off of it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the amp meter. Both of these are green LED. This is the amp meter, the other one was a voltmeter. That's for my secret project too. You guys probably have no idea what I'm building. I just hope I can manage to pull off the build like I'm hoping I will. 500 ohm quarter watt resistors. Got these. Actually got these for a lipo mod that doesn't really seem to work. I used another. I used a 500 ohm half watt resistor to try, because I got them in the mail first, to try this this lipo connector mod, but it doesn't really seem to work. So don't know what I'm going to do with those. This is actually another piece for my build. It's a step down. Converts either 12 or 24 volts into 5 volts with a 5 amp max. That's another piece from my secret build. This one, pair of really nice banana connectors, solderless, again for my secret project. These are pretty cool. Although it's not put together. Let me put one together here real quick and I'll show you what it is. These, and I've actually ordered, I think 5 of these, but I didn't order them all at the same time. I'm not sure if I'm going to need 3 or 4 for the project, so I ordered 5 in case I needed 4, and then I'd have 1 extra in case something happens to it. But these are basically just toggle switches, single pole, single throw toggle switches. But these are like the cool, like, fighter pilot kind where you flip up, you have to flip up the guard, and then you can turn the switch on, and then to turn it off you can just flip that down and it flips the switch with it. And not only are these green, the secret project that I'm working on is going to be green and black, kind of like my logo, if you haven't noticed. But not only are these green, but these have green LEDs in the tops of the switches too, so that ought to be really cool. So yeah, I should have 2 more of those coming at some point. Who knows, they may even be in this pile over here, but I'm not sure exactly how many I'm going to need. But I didn't want to get, like, you know, halfway down the road with the project and realize, oh crap, I need 1 more of those switches, and then have to wait 3 weeks to get them from eBay. From China. Just ordered some Craftsman sockets of various sizes that are very common for me to use. A couple of these sizes I already had, but I was tearing, you know, they were getting tore up because they were cheapies, and there was a couple that I took out of my good socket set that I needed to replace. So that's kind of cool. I don't know what this is. This is kind of a heavy package for its size. Oh yeah, this is an order I placed with thetoys.com. I actually do not order from the toys very often. I've had a sordid past with both Squirrel and RJ. RJ's a good guy, don't get me wrong, and his website is fine to order from as long as he has parts in stock. But if he doesn't have the parts in stock, do not try to place special orders with him because it's ridiculous. I did it, I believe it was 3 times, and all 3 times I ran into the same exact problems. It took him weeks and weeks to get the stuff in, and I had to hound him for updates on what was going on. You know, and I knew there was going to be some weight involved, but you know, especially the first order or so, you know, I'm sitting there thinking it's going to be, you know, a week to 10 days, and turns out it's like 3 weeks later before I get my stuff. But even at that, like, you know, a lot of times I order stuff in advance. Like, I'm not actually, this order here was for shock fluid. I'm not actually out of shock fluid, but I order stuff in advance before I run out of it. So that way, you know, if I have to order from China or, you know, whoever's cheapest, and if I have to wait, then it's not a big deal. I have time. But at the same time, if I'm going to wait 3 weeks for something, drop me 1 or 2 emails. You know, drop me 1 email a week. You know, let me know what's going on. Just say, hey, you know, I'm working on this, haven't gotten it, or, you know, I've been wrapped up with this and I've been too busy to check on it. You know, I'll check on it, you know, on, you know, the first chance I get, whatever day that is, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. RJ is a really nice guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not really bashing him. I don't know. Just something. His customer service is a little lacking when it comes to custom orders. So I'll put it that way. The good things about his website, though, I don't want to just bash the guy. The good things about his website is he does have some really good deals on there from time to time, and he charges, his shipping charges are very minimal compared to most sites. So I don't want to bash the guy. I do still order from his website from time to time when he has stuff in stock, because some things like Racer's Edge shock oil, I've used Lowe's shock oil, I've used Offna shock oil, I've used 3 or 4 different types of shock oil, and I can't tell the difference really between any of them. Very little difference between any of them. The Racer's Edge stuff is particularly cheap. I want to say it's $2.99 a bottle for a, what is this, a 2-ounce bottle? It actually doesn't say on the bottle, but it's a typical size. It's a typical size shock oil bottle, and you pretty much can't find shock oil cheaper than this. And his shipping is really cheap, so I do still order, stuff like that from him. And I don't want to sound like I'm bashing on the guy. I just had some issues with his customer service on some custom orders. But if he's got it in stock, order it. You won't be disappointed with that. And I'm not even going to get into the thing with Squirrel. I'm not going to bash Squirrel. I love his videos. We just had some personality conflicts at one point in time. And it was actually a real shame, because I really liked the guy, and he helped me tremendously when I first got into the hobby. And his videos actually still do help me from time to time. He puts out videos that I still watch his videos. Just because we don't necessarily get along doesn't mean I don't respect his work, and it doesn't invalidate his work. He does awesome videos, a lot of good knowledge there, but and I still share his videos and everything, so don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing anybody, because I'm really not. But at any rate, apparently not all the sockets I ordered were from the same company. I thought they were, but this one came separately. Yay. All of that for a freaking socket. This actually is not RC related, but I will end up doing a video on this stuff later on down the road. This is another little project. I picked up a set of 50/50 tricolor LEDs, 15 foot. Well, technically, I think it's 5 meters. I think it's closer to 16 foot, but I picked up that along with this, which is basically a little controller unit that allows you to use this remote control to basically, there's a red, blue, and green LED in the bigger 50/50, or at least the tricolor 50/50 LEDs. There's a red, blue, and a green LED. So by using different strengths of each color, you can actually make the strip look like just about any color you want. And there's a bunch of preset colors on this remote, as you can see. If you want to, if you want green, you just push green. If you want purple, you push purple. Yellow, you push yellow, and it'll change it to those colors. But then there's also some other cool features. You can turn it off and on with the remote. You can control the brightness of it, and then there's like special functions, like you can make it flash, strobe, fade. You can make it fade from like one color to another color to another color, and it'll go through all the colors it can do. Should be pretty cool. I'm going to use this for like accent lighting. This kit, I actually did not mean to order 2 of these kits. That was a mistake. I actually did order 2 of them. This first one, when I ordered it, I didn't realize that what the hell is this? Oh yeah, okay. That's the little sensor. I didn't realize when I ordered this first one that I had ordered the little 24 key remote. They actually make this set with a bigger 44 key remote, which is what I really wanted. So what I ended up doing was I ended up ordering a second kit, and the second kit will have the bigger remote. I'm going to end up using that kit with the more options and whatnot on it in the living room. I'll probably use it for accent lighting behind my TV in my entertainment center, and then this kit here I'll probably use for accent lighting in my bedroom or something. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put them, but I'll figure out some kind of cool place to put them or whatever. So, all right, now we get on to the boxes. We're almost done here. This is going to be kind of a long Boxy Brown because I had a bunch of stuff come in all at the same time. So that's why I'm trying to rush my way through this, but these are shock shaft guards in black. I've got blue ones for my other wrestler. I'm doing this wrestler in black. The shock guards themselves, actually, I find to be a little useless, but I do like having the RPM shock mounts. I do like having those. The shock guards look cool, though. I guess I probably could have just ordered these, but I don't know. The shock guards kind of look cool, but honestly, they're more for looks, I think, than anything. Not going to go into any detail on that. Oh, cool. I know what this is. This actually got here really fast, which is pretty awesome. I believe this is my replacement tips. Yes, it is. Sweet. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that a while back I bought a 8-piece Allen wrench set from Team EDS. Best quality drivers I've seen on the market. From what I understand, and I've never owned Huddy tools, but from what I understand, the quality is just about the same, at least for the tips. They make their I read online, and I don't know if this is true, but I read online that they actually get their tips from the same company that makes Huddy's tips. And they're basically made in the same exact way. They're made from rolled spring steel, and they grind the tips instead of casting the tips, which makes them infinitely stronger. The edges have way more bite on them. They don't round off nearly as easy, and they're just amazing tools. And you can get them engraved too, which is awesome. So one of the new tools that I ordered from them is a 17mm hex wrench, and I actually had Grey Wolf Studios engraved on that, as you can see there. That's pretty freaking sweet. I don't know, I got this because I have a tendency, on some tires, I have a tendency to have a hard time getting my T-wrenches, you know, like my Lozi, and I usually use a Lozi or an associated T-wrench, but on certain tires, I have a really hard time getting them to fit down on there, and I'm hoping this will make it easier, but because it was kind of expensive, so if it doesn't work any better, I'll be kind of disappointed, but it's not a big deal. I did order a couple of replacement tips for my 1/16 Team EDS driver and my 1.5mm driver, because I messed up the tips a little bit. They're still intact and they still work just fine, but they're kind of marked up a little bit. For some reason, whenever I try to take apart like Castle motors, I know I've had this problem with Hobbywing motors, Takan motors, the screws don't seem to, the Allen wrenches don't really seem to fit down into the screws for some reason, and I'm actually trying to investigate that right now. It has been suggested that it could just be you know, because the tips are so small and the screw heads are so small, that it could just be machining variance, machining, a variance in machining size, which makes it not fit in there quite exactly right, and it ends up tweaking the tips in the end. So luckily, Team EDS tips, once you actually get the wrenches, now the wrenches are about $10 a piece, but once you get the wrenches, that's assuming you don't have them engraved. They're $12 a piece if you get them engraved. But once you get the wrenches, the replacement tips are only like, I want to say $3.50 or $4 a piece, which is really cheap for replacement tips. My crappy OFNA, the last set of wrenches I had was an OFNA set. My crappy OFNA wrenches had more expensive replacement tips than these EDS ones, and they weren't nearly quality. So really happy about that. I also ordered a 4-piece set. This is a standard 4-piece set of 1/4-inch shank hex driver bits for my Ryobi Tech 4. I've been using the bits out of a Losi 8-in-1 tool, but you know, again, they're cast. They're not ground springs. They're not grounded. They're not spring steel. They're cast, so they do tend to wear. They've held up pretty decently, but after a year and a half of usage, I've broken one tip, and I'm showing wear on the 3 main tip sizes that I use. I'm showing quite a bit of wear, so it prompted me to buy these, and then also basically the same thing, only a metric set. So that's cool, and I just ordered those a few days ago. I'm surprised they got here that fast, but that's cool that they did. Now I can retire those other ones and move on. Now this, look at this crap. This is actually a box from, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Nitro House. Was it Nitro? Yeah, nitrohouse.com. And I don't know what happened to this box, but somebody raped it. This box has like been mutilated. And if I remember correctly, inside this box, I have a set of 40 series OFNA brand closed cell foams for monster trucks. And yes, I do have those. Okay. Yeah, I do believe these are closed cell, but they're 40 series foams from OFNA for monster trucks. And I don't remember what the deal was. There was orange ones and yellow ones. I can't remember what the difference was, but the plan when I ordered these, when I ordered those originally, my original plan was I have a set of Big Joes that a buddy of mine gave me, and they're on Losi 420 white dish rims. And my original plan was to bake them or soak them in acetone or something, remove the tires from the rims, and then dye the rims, and then mount the tires back on. But of course, well, my original plan, I take that back, my original plan was to soak them in acetone. And then, of course, the acetone would ruin the stock foams, so those were going to be the replacement foams. But I've messed with acetone here recently, taking some other Losi XXL tires apart, and also cleaning the chrome off of a couple different sets of rims that I had. And let me tell you, that stuff's nasty, man. I'm not real hip on messing with it again. And I've got a respirator and everything, but it's just, I hate wearing the respirator. I feel like I can't breathe when I'm wearing it, and it just, I don't know, I get headaches if I wear it too long. So whatever, enough about that. Anyway, the third and final thing is I got a replacement crankshaft for my my Pico P328 engine. If you guys weren't aware of this already, I got a new Pico engine not too long ago, and I took it apart to, to clean it up and lube the inside of it and everything, and I put a roto start back on it, and I did not bother to check and see if the flywheel was free spinning, like with my hand or whatever, before I stuck the the roto start tool in there and just started cranking it. And I don't know if it hydro locked or if I accidentally put the piston in backwards or what, but it moved just a fraction of an inch, and then I heard a groan and a snap inside of it, and I broke off that little top nub there on the crankshaft where the con rod connects to. So that was a real bummer, because those motors only cost like $189 brand new, and this replacement crankshaft here was about $90. Freaking ridiculous, if you ask me, but that's what it cost, and I had to have it, so whatever. But at any rate, that's it for this one. That was a big one, and I apologize if it's too long for some of you guys, but I didn't feel like making multiple videos for the same batch of stuff. So at any rate, if you like RC pics, check out my Facebook page, www.facebook.com/GrayWolfStudios74, or if you have any questions or comments, you can drop me a line via email at graywolfstudios74@gmail.com. Please post up comments, questions below. Use the like, dislike buttons. If you use the dislike buttons, tell me why. Tell me what you disliked. Just for curiosity's sake, if enough people dislike a particular thing, maybe I'll change it. Who knows? At any rate, that's it for this one. I'm out. Peace.